Largest body of the House of Representatives, Nepali Congress, has decided to extend its support to Ram Sahai Yadav of Janata Samajwadi Party at the election of the Vice President, which is slated for Friday, the 17th of March. Good evening, I am Prarambha Dahal. Let's begin with the main stories. Operation of the government and the House of Representatives affected because of change in political equation. Prime Minister Dahal busy in managing the alliance. Despite expenditure of over 10 billion rupees, exploitation of Chure region continues unabated. Fertile Tarai region turning barren, conservation efforts yet to produce results. Consumers at the receiving end because of poor implementation of existing laws. All three tiers of government fail in inspection, monitoring and taking actions. And hosts Nepal play the United Arab Emirates in the last match of the ICC World Cricket League 2 series tomorrow. A win will ensure direct spot at the World Cup Global qualifiers for Nepal. The government has prohibited ministers and high-ranking officials from foreign visits unless it is very important. According to the Minister for Communications and Information Technology, Rekha Sharma, yesterday's meeting of the Council of Ministers has decided not to have foreign visits of ministers and high-ranking officials unless very significant. The meeting has also decided to extend the term of the commission formed to investigate the crash of the Yeti Airlines in Pokhara by 45 days. The government has also decided to maintain uniformity in the education visa fee between Nepal and the United States of America. Operations of the government and the House of Representatives have been affected after Prime Minister Pushpa Dahal changed the political equation on the 24th of February. Dahal, who was appointed the Prime Minister with a different alliance on the 25th of December, is moving forward with a new coalition in just a span of 2 months. However, he has not been able to perform as expected because of the change in the political equation. CPN Maoist Center Chairperson Pushpa Dahal was appointed the Prime Minister of Nepal on December 25 with the backing of parties including CPN-UML, Rashtriya Swatantra Party and Rashtriya Prajatantra Party among others. He also prepared the government's common minimum program, which included the ideas of all parties of that alliance and made it public on the 9th of January. However, the alliance did not last long because of the presidential election. UML, Rashtriya Prajatantra Party and Rashtriya Swatantra Party quit the government. The government's policies and programs were also left stranded. Prime Minister Dahal, who is currently shouldering the responsibility of 16 ministries, is now facing the challenge of including Nepali Congress among other parties in the government and to generate a vote of confidence. With the expansion of the Council of Ministers, Prime Minister Dahal will need to revise the common minimum program as well. Dahal, who has formed the new alliance involving 10 parties, has not been able to understand public aspirations and sentiments as he is busy in power politics. Even in such a situation, CPN Maoist Center members continue to claim that Prime Minister Dahal will leave no stone unturned to ensure the effective performance of the government and the parliament. Even if Prime Minister Dahal gains a vote of confidence for the moment, it will not be easy for him to retain the trust vote. In absence of clarity regarding the main opposition at the parliament, the session of the House of Representatives has been postponed for a long time. While UML, which is now out of the government, is aiming to split the newly formed alliance, the government is confident of moving forward in a smooth manner after receiving the vote of confidence. However, it appears that the government decisions, including presentation of bills, will not be an easy task considering the political statistics. Prime Minister Pushpa Dahal has made preparations to receive the vote of confidence at the House of Representatives on the 20th of March and is planning to expand the Council of Ministers only after generating the trust vote. Meeting of the House of Representatives has been called for the 19th of March, 2 days after the conclusion of the election of the Vice President. The coalition parties have begun talks for the vote of confidence on the 20th of March. Prime Minister Dahal is required to regain the vote of confidence as parties that had previously extended their support, CPN-UML and Rashtriya Prajatantra Party, had quit the government and withdrawn their support. However, Nepali Congress General Secretary Gagan Thapa has said that Prime Minister Dahal will easily gain the trust vote yet again. Rashtriya Prajatantra Party had quit the government and withdrawn its support on February 25, while UML had done the same 2 days later. As provisioned by the Constitution, a Prime Minister is required to regain the vote of confidence within 30 days of withdrawal of support by any party. Meanwhile, Rashtriya Swatantra Party, despite quitting the government, has yet to withdraw its support. The Chure region that in fact covers 12.78% of the country's total area falls under 340 local levels of 37 districts of the country's 7 provinces. More than 10 billion rupees has been spent under the President Chure Conservation Project, while efforts are being made by communities and private sectors for the same. However, the depletion of Chure region, which is connected with the future and general life of the Tarai Madhes region, has not been controlled. The President Chure Conservation Project was initiated with a 20-year master plan amid increasing natural disasters due to the exploitation of the Chure region, excessive grazing, deforestation and mining among other factors following the expansion of human settlement in the area. Around 10.18 billion rupees has been spent under the project between the fiscal years 2071-72 and 2077-78 as per the Nepali calendar. However, exploitation of the Chure region has not come to an end. Conservation activists have become agitated in recent times and have demanded conservation of the region. Forests cover only 14% of the total area of Madhes province. According to the Province Forest Directorate, 219,780 hectares of land is covered by forest in Madhes, of which 17,843 hectares have been encroached. The Chure conservation activists have demanded conservation of the forest, shutting down illegal crusher industries immediately, implementation of the 7-point agreement reached with Bagmati province government, and declaration of Dilip Mahato as an environmental martyr, among others. However, the government has remained indifferent towards those that have been staging 24-hour protests at Janakpur Chowk of Janakpur Dham since the 23rd of February. Article 12 of the Forests Act 2019 prohibits human settlement in areas covered by the forests. The number of organized encroachers building houses and makeshifts on the encroached land is on the rise. In quite a contrast, protesters have demanded providing those land to those encroachers. The fertile land of Madhes province that used to have herbs and trees have turned barren because of floods, landslide and soil erosion triggered by exploitation of the Chure region. In our Public Voice segment, we have asked people in several provinces why has the government efforts to conserve the Chure region not been effective. Let us now take a look at what they had to say.
Public Voice.
प्राकृतिक सम्पत्ति दोन गर्ने उद्देश्यले लागेकाहरू पनि त्यसमा सक्रिय भएको कारणले
उपलब्धि के हो भन्ने कुरा बुझ्न र बुझाउन नसकेका कारणले
सरकारको ध्यान त्यतातिर जानुपर्ने हो तर गएको देखिदैन।
चुरे क्षेत्रका पब्लिकको पनि जागरुकता नदेखिएको
राजनीतिक भागभण्डा हुने यसले गर्दा पनि खासै प्रभावकारी भएको पाइदैन।
अनुगमनको कमजोरीले गर्दा
सरकारको काम गर्ने क्षमता नभएको कारण
स्थानीय समुदायसँगको छलफल बिना नै योजनाहरू बन्छ राज्यको।
जहिलेसम्म तल्लो स्तरसम्म पुग्दैन नि यो अहिले सरकारको कार्यक्रम त्यति सदुपयोग हुन्छ जस्तो मलाई चाहिँ लाग्दैन।
यो गर्दाखेरि हामीलाई फ्युचरमा के प्रब्लमहरु हुन सक्छ, हामी के फेस गर्न सक्छौं त्यो चाहिँ हेर्नुपर्ने हो।
दोहन जबसम्म रोकिदैन तबसम्म जस्तो सुकै खालको कार्यक्रमहरु आए पनि त्यो चाहिँ संरक्षण नहुने।
चुरेलाई जोगाउन खोज्ने भन्नुहुन्छ तर किन जोगाउन नहो?
ठुलाबडा मान्छेहरूले केही हातमा हो।
सरकार आफै नियम लगाउँछ अनि आफै तोड्छ।
जुन रुल्सहरु मतलब ल्याएका छन् त्यसमा अलि कडाई गर्नुपर्ने, जनता पनि सचेत हुनुपर्छ।
Today was the World Consumer Rights Day. The Constitution of Nepal has recognized consumer rights as a fundamental right of the citizens. However, the consumers have been facing several bruns. All 3 tiers of the government have failed in ensuring effective market monitoring and regulation for the public to realize their fundamental right. Article 44 of the Constitution of Nepal has ensured the right to quality goods and services for consumers. The Department of Commerce, Supplies and Consumer Protection on the 23rd of February had slapped a fine of 300,000 rupees to the central canteen inside Singadarbar after tests had found inedible goods being sold. Prior to that, 660 cartons of date-expired beers found at a storage facility in Sinamangal on the 15th of February were destroyed. The department also imposed a fine of 1.5 million rupees to a shop inside the Tribhuvan International Airport for charging exorbitant prices. These are representative cases from the federal capital. Considering the statistics of the department, of the 2,448 inspected firms, actions have been taken against 1,337 of them. The data reflects the sorry state of consumer rights in the country. Even in such a situation, the department is without a leadership and has often been citing the lack of officials as a major challenge. The provincial and local levels have also been shying away from the responsibility of market monitoring and inspection, which has led to the high market penetration of adulterated or unhealthy goods. Despite the provinces and the local levels citing their own problems regarding market monitoring, the federal entity must play a responsible role. However, even the Central Market Monitoring Committee, led by the Chief Secretary, has not been able to perform in an efficient manner. The government has remained indifferent regarding implementation of consumer rights. With consumer rights related to public health being compromised, the government remaining a mere spectator is a serious issue. It is now time for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
Before we ask today's question, let us take a look at the result from yesterday's poll. Yesterday we asked, what do you term the practice of political parties charging monthly fees from parliamentarians? 72% were for A, a way to fund party expenses, 15% were for B, financial burden for parliamentarians, and 13% were for C, a practice without legal recognition. And here is our today's question. What should be done to protect consumers from being swindled? Your options are A, consumers should be self-aware, B, effective monitoring, and C, strict laws. The voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B or C, and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us.
Sports news.
Host Nepal play the United Arab Emirates in the last match of the ICC World Cricket League 2 series tomorrow. Now, tomorrow's result will decide if Nepal will directly qualify for the World Cup global qualifiers or will have to go through the playoffs. A win tomorrow against the UAE will ensure Nepal's spot in the World Cup global qualifiers in Zimbabwe. However, a win for the UAE will mean Nepal will finish 4th in the ICC World Cricket League 2 series and go through the playoffs. Nepal's loss will be of benefit for Namibia. As of now, Nepal have 38 points from 35 matches and are placed 4th, while Namibia have 39 points from 36 matches and are a spot above Nepal. If the match is washed by rain, Nepal and the UAE will share a point each, which will ensure Namibia's spot in the qualifiers on net run rate. Team Nepal are unbeaten in the ongoing home series. In their previous match against the UAE, Nepal had registered a record 177-run win and retained their one-day international ODI status until 2027. 11,000 tickets have been sold for tomorrow's ICC World Cricket League 2 match between Nepal and the United Arab Emirates. According to the Cricket Association of Nepal, CAN, all tickets have been sold for tomorrow's match. Now, despite more demand for the tickets, CAN had to stop the sales considering management complications. A total of 10,000 online and 1,000 physical tickets have been sold for tomorrow. Meanwhile, CAN has distributed 500 passes for guests. The largest crowd in the history of Nepali cricket is expected to reach the TU ground tomorrow. Spectators have arrived in Kathmandu even from outside the valley. The number of spectators has been increasing as Team Nepal have been displaying brilliant all-round cricketing performance to register 10 wins in 11 recent matches. The capacity of the Tribhuvan University cricket grounds is expected to be around 14,000. CAN has said that all revenue generated from tomorrow's match will be deposited in the Players' Welfare Fund. Meanwhile, security provisions have also been bolstered for tomorrow. A total of 150 Nepal police and armed police force personnel will be deployed at the TU grounds. Spectators will be allowed to enter the stadium from 8 a.m. for the match, which will begin at 9:30 a.m. Now, led by skipper Mohammad Wasim's century, the United Arab Emirates have registered their first win in the Nepal leg of the ICC World Cricket League 2 series as they saw off Papua New Guinea by 6 wickets. In the match played at the Tribhuvan University cricket grounds in Kantipur, Papua New Guinea won the toss and elected to bat, where they managed 234 runs for the loss of 7 wickets in their 50 overs. Skipper Asad Vala top scored for PNG with 65 runs. Norman Vanua remained unbeaten at 49. Riley Hekure scored 33. Kiplin Doriga made 24 and Charles Amini contributed 22. Hazrat Bilal was the pick of the UAE bowlers with 4 wickets, while Ruan Mustafa and Zawar Farid shared a wicket apiece. In reply, the UAE exceeded the target in 38.4 overs. Skipper Mohammad Wasim top scored for the UAE with 119 runs. Vrite Aravind contributed 33. Tundan Gayopil Rizwan remained unbeaten at 29, while Ayan Afzal Khan scored 27 runs. Wasim's 119 from 76 deliveries included 6 fours and 12 sixes. Riley Hekure picked 2 wickets for PNG, while Kabua Moria and John Carrico shared a wicket each. With the defeat, PNG have ended their World Cricket League 2 tournament at the 7th position with 11 points from 36 matches, of which they managed to win only 5. In the last match of the series, Nepal play UAE tomorrow. The unbeaten run of the Tribhuvan Army Club at the Martyrs Memorial A-Division League has come to an end as they suffered a 1-0 defeat to Armed Police Force. APF scored the solitary goal of the match in the 37th minute through Manikumar Lama, who converted the cross served in by Bipan Shrestha. It was the only shot on target for Armed Police Force throughout the match. Army had their chances to equalize but failed in terms of conversion. It was the Armed Police Force's first win after 2 matches. In another A-Division League match played today, 8-time champions Manang Marshangdi secured a 3-1 win over New Road team NRT. National Football Governing Body, the All Nepal Football Association, ANFA, has appointed Pravesh Katwal as the assistant coach of the national football team. ANFA, which had formally introduced new head coach Vincenzo Alberto Anis only yesterday, has assigned the responsibility of the assistant coach to Katwal, who is currently coaching Machindra club at the ongoing Martyrs Memorial A-Division League. Machindra had won the previous 2 editions of the domestic top flight tournament under Katwal, who had also shouldered the responsibility of the acting head coach of Team Nepal when they played an international friendly against Pakistan back in November last year at the Dashat Stadium. Nepal had won that international friendly 1-0. Meanwhile, ANFA has appointed Binod Dongol as the goalkeeping coach. Team Nepal are to take on Bhutan and Laos in the Tri-Nation Cup at the Dashat Stadium from March 22. Up next is the weather update. That is all for the moment. Up next is the news in Nepali. Thank you for staying with us. Goodbye for now.